Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Xbox One video. So, for those of you who like making things with Upload and Upload Studio, you may or may not know this already, but if you launch Upload Studio, you will find out there is an update. And you might be thinking, what does this do? Well, quite simply, it adds a whole host of new skins. So, I thought I'd take this opportunity to put together this video and show you what they look like. So, if you do find this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, give it a thumbs up, show your support, but let's jump straight to it. First up, I'm going to launch Upload Studio. And then I'm going to jump into the picture-in-picture template because it's probably the best way to showcase it at first. I will jump between picture-in-picture and bookend just so you can kind of see full screen or small screen. But yeah, I'm going to grab a bit of random game DVR from my library, so I've got some Killer Instinct stuff, and I'm just going to record a random bit of Connect just so that we've got something to work with. Sort of 25 seconds, something like that should do. Just enough so we can at least see all the intros. And then if you head over to the Choose Skin menu, you will now see that there is a whole host of new things. So, you know, horror, snow, pop art, arcade, all that crazy stuff. And then obviously if you look right at the end, all the original ones are still there, so you haven't lost them, don't worry, you can still get them. But let's start from the beginning. So let's choose this horror one, and then obviously you apply it as you always do, and if you press X we can preview it. So the beginning of it, obviously you see that there's kind of a load of sort of horror flashing images, kind of things that you'd expect in sort of the kind of quick flash in horror films, but then when you get to the actual full frame thing, it basically looks like one of those kind of desk. It actually looks kind of like a detective desk to me, like the sort of thing you might get in a cop drama with sort of a big frame, little picture on the side, and then yeah, that's pretty cool. And then obviously once you get to the end of the frame, the transition to the next frame is just what you saw at the beginning. But then if we jump over to the bookend template, you can see this full screen. Again, you have the same intro, the sort of flashing horror images, but then it's just basically a zoom in on the desk with the one frame instead. So that is pretty cool. You know, like I say, I really like once you get past the horror intro, I really like how it looks like a kind of sort of detective kind of desk, or maybe even something out of Uncharted, really, the whole sort of explorer thing. But anyway, moving over, next up is a football inspired one. This is a sort of stadium one. This one is obviously supposed to look like one of those kind of massive screens in a football stadium. You know, imagine if you're sitting in the crowd and you obviously can't see the pitch, then you're looking at the screen itself, so it's got that cool overlay on the picture. And obviously for the picture-in-picture one, then the small frame is in the top right-hand corner, whereas if you switch over to the just bookend standard original one, then you just see that it's exactly the same, only you don't have a picture-in-picture, so it's just full frame. So again, that one's pretty cool. You've obviously got the moving bar at the bottom as well, just sort of add some stuff to it. Then next up is the snow template. This is one of the sort of first kind of Christmassy ones, so this will be pretty cool over the next month or so. So obviously when you start off, just snowflakes sort of fall down, and then 2 frames come down as sort of icicles, and then your frames drop in. Pretty simple, but yeah, that one looks pretty cool. And then if we jump over to the full screen version, you'll just see that it's, again, basically what you saw before, only this time there is one big frame. Then, moving on to the next one, we have got, and this is one of my favourite ones so far, pop art. This one obviously is supposed to look like kind of a comic book at the beginning, so you start off and it does these really cool zooms at different angles on the comic book, and then the frames slam in, and then obviously replace them with your picture-in-picture and your game footage, which is pretty cool. You know, I can now say I am a comic book superstar, or I'm a hero. I'm going to put my cape on, and I'm going to run around and pretend I'm Superman while in this frame. Yes, I'm definitely going to do that, so look out for that one. But then yeah, you switch over to the full frame one, and it's just a bigger zoom, so instead of having the small one in the corner, you just zoom in there. So again, pretty cool, do really like that one. Then moving over to the next one, we have another wintry one, well, sort of winter Christmas one. I actually prefer this one to the snow one. This one is kind of cool. The big frame on the side obviously comes in on wheels, and the small frame just drops down as if it's sort of hanging like a decoration. And then just sort of the background's pretty cool, so I quite like the sort of wintry look to that one. And then obviously if you look at the full frame one, again it's pretty much the same sort of thing, only this time the big frame just rolls in on its own, and there's no sort of drop-in frame to hang from the top. So again, that one is pretty cool. So that is the second winter one. There are only 2 sort of Christmassy winter ones. Then moving on to the next one, we have arcade. Now this one is pretty cool. What I actually like about this one, well, obviously when you start, you know, it's got the whole press play, you know, insert coin kind of thing, and then it transitions to your first game. But what it actually does for the picture-in-picture is it overlays these 2, so you kind of get that old school retro burn-in look on your TV. And you know, if you think about things really cleverly, you could actually do some really cool things with this one. You know, instead of doing your conventional videos, you might try and do some clever sort of overlays, or you know, 2 Connect feeds to create some cool ghostly thing. You know, I'd use your imagination, but there's a lot of things you can do with this one. But I do really like that one. You know, I love arcade, so obviously it's a given. Then moving on again, we have clone. Now this one's quite interesting. I'm going to swap out the footage this time so you can see how you properly use it. For example, 2 Connect footages, because if you move to the left side of your screen and then the right side of your screen, then you can actually technically do, you could be talking to yourself, or you know, there's a lot of possibilities with this one. It'd be quite interesting to see, you know, what people are going to do with it, because that is pretty cool. Obviously, if you have the full frame one, then it just duplicates yourself, so you have this kind of weird sort of two-headed look to yourself. But again, that is the clone one. Kaleidoscope, now this one's a little bit crazy, a little bit sort of psychedelic, but yeah, if you've got two frames, then picture in picture. The middle one is your gameplay footage, or whatever you select there, and on the side is I look kind of like an alien, sort of like a breathing alien, but then yeah, that's your sort of kaleidoscoped face on the side. And if you go full screen for it, then it does this sort of crazy look in the middle. Again, I definitely look like an alien or a flower, kind of like that thing. It's a bit weird, but cool. So yeah, if you want to start looking like you're about to invade the Earth, then that's the one for you. Football sting next is the other football one. This one's supposed to look like a kind of a, I suppose you use this if you're trying to commentate footage. So if you were doing this for FIFA, this would be really good, because you could pretend like you're a commentator, because it starts off your full screen, and then when you get to sort of the transition after the first bit, it swaps you to the small part, and then the gameplay footage goes in the massive screen. So that'd be really good for if you're trying to actually do a whole football commentary kind of thing. And then again, obviously full screen, it replaces the frame on the side with just sort of a made up score screen on the side, so you can pretend that obviously you're tallying up all the different scores. So that one is the other football one. I actually prefer the first one, the stadium one, but that is the other option. And then finally you have Funhouse. Now I'm going to swap this one out in a second, because again, you can clearly see how you would use this. Obviously, again, you've got, like with clone, you've got left and right. This time you've got top and bottom. So for the time being, obviously it fades in my gameplay footage with my face. But if you were to do something sort of clever, you could probably film yourself at the bottom of the screen and then the top of the screen using Kinect camera, and then do something crazy like that. Obviously, there you go, and there's me with a crazy looking head. If you only do it full screen, then it just distorts your whole body, and it just looks like you're in one of those kind of the Hall of Mirrors in one of those kind of carnivals or festivals or whatever they're called. And it does the same for gameplay footage, but that is pretty cool. So that is it for all the skins. I'm going to leave you with this kind of crazy sort of close-up using the Funhouse skin of my head. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So hopefully you found this helpful. As I say, this is now live, so if you go to launch Upload Studio, you'll get an update and you will now be able to use these. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you found it helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, give it a thumbs up, show your support. It does really help me out. And obviously don't forget to subscribe for more awesome Xbox One content. And also don't forget to stay tuned to the Arix Gaming Facebook and Twitter page for all your updates throughout the week. But thanks for watching. Keep it locked to Arix Gaming for all your next gen coverage. Peace out.